There was Monday on this week, and Anna went to Producthunt and got to the number 5. Number 3.
Number
Anna, you
3.
are number 3.
I am
You
number
are
3.
number 3.
I am number 3.
In the next 30-ish minutes, we're going to discuss how did Anna end up being number 3 product of the day on Producthunt. We're going to figure out what this means actually for business, as in, did she get subscriptions? Did she get, I don't know, $1 million?
No.
Did she get what? And
Spoilers.
Look, I mean, she was both the hunter and the maker. Like, nobody helped her. How awesome this is. So pretty much in the next 30 minutes, we're going to torture Anna. But first, let's introduce the torturers.
Yeah. Okay, you start from me. I'm Lara, artist Gen Z, and I hate that this stream is in the morning because I'm still sleepy.
Mm-hmm. Karina.
Hey, I'm Karina. I'm usually asking business questions, so will not be an exception today.
Nice.
And apparently I'm the head torturer today with a happy smile on my t-shirt. And Anna usually is a co-host on the show, but today she's back to being a guest again. Anna, what do you do besides being number 3 on Producthunt?
Being what on Producthunt?
Number 3.
Number 3. Oh, I write newsletter. I'm an engineer. I write newsletter about community building and passion economy and creator economy and stuff like that. So that's currently my full-time job.
Nice. I found my testimonial on your website. Probably
Yes.
we like each other.
Yeah, we are
or each other's work. We are affiliated.
Okay, go on. Tell about the Producthunt. Tell us everything. Start from something. I have zero
Let's
clue
start
how it
from
works.
Let's start from why.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes. Why is a very good question. So I started this project, newsletter, Community Weekly. That is my newsletter that went live on Producthunt this Monday. It was actually at the beginning a byproduct of my another project, which was called Community Finder. And I was growing that project for a year, and somewhere around September, I understood that I'm starting to get burned out from that project, and I decided to just start writing the newsletter more consistently, because before I was not very consistent with that newsletter. So around September, I started to write the newsletter like every once a week, and that's how I started to grow it, like without any targeted advertising or anything. I was just writing. I was just sharing my writing on Twitter, on some relevant niche communities, and on indie hackers, and that's how I gained my first around 430 people. And then I came to this point where it was already very hard to grow, because I was sharing the newsletter on the same places. Like everyone who kind of already knew me knew me. And I wanted more exposure for my content. I tried to post one of my articles on Hacker News to get some attention, but apparently Hacker News is not very good fit for this kind of theoretical stuff. It's not, my content is not very like technical and like very hard deep tech stuff. It's just like community management. And so I decided that I will launch on Producthunt to get more exposure, to possibly get more subscribers, and just to put myself out there on their map at least. That's why I launched.
Did you get more exposure?
Yes, I got 500 more subscribers.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Yay.
That's amazing.
And I'm still
money-wise? And money-wise?
money-wise, yeah, everyone is asking that question. I did not have any product to sell this time. It was just a free newsletter. But I have, yes, I know. But I have, as you know, I have paid versions of my articles. So I'm planning to maybe do one more launch in 3 months, just with that only concept, like the paid version of Community Weekly or something.
How do I find and show the paid version of the articles? I cannot, I mean, I'm browsing the Community Weekly website right now, and I cannot find it. I cannot find, how do they give you money? How do they give you money?
Very hidden. It's mainly for like subscribers. And the team, yeah. It's for subscribers. I'm sharing mainly to the subscribers the links. I don't know why. Currently, I'm just trying to test things out without like launching several. So I don't want to launch a lot of things at the same time. So when I have something new, I'm sharing it with the subscribers first, just to see how my main audience is getting it, and then I'm going public with the project. So currently, that paid versions are only for the subscribers to see. But I have,
I don't get it. I don't get it.
yeah, I know.
Like, you launch a product that nobody can pay for, you get lots of attention, you get lots of subscribers, and they cannot, and there is no buy button.
Yeah, currently, I like right now. The purpose of the launch was not to like right now sell a lot of things. The purpose of the launch was to get more subscribers, to retain them, to learn more about the problems of this small niche, which is passion economy and creator economy, to understand what people are looking for. So I would align my paid content more to to their needs. So because right now I'm mainly like the thing that I have sent you, the community audio community operating system that I have already launched, like again secretly to my only subscribers. This is just something that I'm very interested in, and it was just poking in the air. That's how I came up with this product. But I just want to have and to learn more about this niche, so my upcoming products would be more targeted to their specific needs. That's why right now I had no buy button, and I'm basically with Community Weekly in the still research and development process, and 400 people, it was good for that research and development, and a lot of content came out from that 400 people, because I'm constantly in contact with them, and sometimes I'm doing free consulting to get ideas for the articles. But when it comes to paid products, I think it's better to have like a lot of grounds and not just poke in the air as I'm doing it right now.
Anne, how
Yes.
did you end up being third on Product Hunt?
Oh, that's a very good question that I will ask for
Ah.
the first time today. Um,
I'm wondering.
Maybe there is a special day that you launch your
yes.
Oh, probably there is
product.
some pipeline that you're following.
Oh, guys, I love you so much.
Yeah,
I'm
tell
not
us
with
about
them.
the pipeline and where people
Yes.
might read it later on.
I will publish it. I want it to be this stream. But
But
I will
apparently not.
I will tell it again. It's not a problem. It's not a biggie. So I have launched on Monday. No, serious face. I have launched on Monday because if you do the research and if you read the articles around the web about launching on Product Hunt, you will see that there is a pattern that the most active days on Product Hunt is actually Tuesday and Thursday. So I and a lot of the factors that are in successful product launch is who is else are launching on the same day as you are. So I purposefully avoided that very active days, and I also did not want to launch on Saturday or Sunday because it's a very low traffic day for the product and generally. Although it's very easy to get on the first place on Saturday on Sunday, generally it's not very active on that day. That's why I purposefully avoided those days and I just picked Monday as a launch day. So I launched on Product and I am in Armenia right now. So it means that I am 12 hours behind US, and when I'm launching, it's basically nighttime for them. So this is a thing to keep in mind for whatever I'm gonna say from now on. So I launched on Product and I have put the link on Twitter, and the first wave of support came from the Twitter. And before the launch, I also identified places and communities that I want to uh, promote my launch. First of all, because I'm very an anxiety-prone person, I don't want to do that on the same day. So I don't want to be panically typing messages in different communities. So that's why I prepared small blurbs for each of the communities. And to introduce my launch. And these are very different from each other. Some of them are the same, but generally I try to introduce my newsletter on that communities the way that I think they know about me already. So for example, if it's a place that they don't know that I have a newsletter, I will just introduce it. Or if it's your server, I'm just, hey guys, I launched today, please support me. And like emojis and stuff like that. So I have prepared all of that. And so I will be very calm on that day. And I had that big Notion page. I think I will share it somewhere in the stream with the stream. So there is a big Notion page where I have the names of the communities and the blurbs and the introductions of my launch. So when I have launched, I did not go on all those places and simultaneously drop the message. I was waiting a couple of hours in between. So I will have peaks of activities on the product. And that's how I was constantly battling for the second or the third place. Like that's how I like ended up on the 5, then I got back on the 3rd. So that's how I'm doing it. I'm purposefully like segregating hours and cascading that messages on different communities where I'm already active in, where people already know me. And that's the thing, like you can go and spam everyone and everywhere, but in my opinion, it's more easy when like you already have connection with people, when people know you, when people like understand what you're doing and why are you doing what you're doing. And I think it's very it takes a lot of time to get to that point. Of course, it's not targeted advertising on Facebook, but still it's more effective in my opinion than Facebook. So that's what I did. I just tweeted all day about my process, where I was and what place I was, how many upvotes I get, how was I feeling. I was even like making jokes about myself on my Facebook stories. I never post on Facebook stories, but on that day, I don't know why I was especially active. And I started to post like funny things. Like when I dropped on the 3rd place, I started to post, "Mom, I'm fine. Everything is fine. Don't worry about me. I'm fine." Something like that.
But
So
if I hear you right, what you're saying is pretty much you relied on your own connections,
yes.
on your own communities. So, like, no magic.
Yeah, there is no magic. Like the time, the only magic is time. This product, I'm building it like from the March of previous year. It was almost launched on the 1 year anniversary of that product. So people already know what I'm doing. Uh, I'm talking about communities. I'm writing about communities. Like, and there is already that attachment of Anna Grigoryan and Community Finder / Community Weekly. So when I have launched and people already knew what I was doing, and especially if we had like friendship or I was, and I think the most important part in all of this, like you're joining a community that you like, and a lot of people are kind of joining a place and starting to kind of they're sharing their products, they're asking for reviews and stuff like that. But I think if you want to go on this part of solo entrepreneurship and like doing everything on your own, you need to invest time in relationships, invest time and energy in building relationships, helping people out. So I would say I'm part of a lot of communities, and I try to give a lot before I ask for something. And the same the same way I think other indie hackers are currently doing it. They try to give a lot of value, and in the process they are researching for their product, and in the process they're also launching their product and getting to like top of the product hunt somehow.
If you were to advise us for including yourself on launching community show on Product Hunt, what would you say we should do? And that's first part of the question. And the second part of the same question is, you launch it without like a bigger monetization on Product Hunt. Do you think that was the right approach and that was appealing? Or shall we enable monetization first, like Unity, and then launch on Product Hunt? It's pretty much the same question, just
Yeah.
like
I will try to like dissect and answer to all of them. So first, what I would advise to you to do if you were to launch on Product Hunt. So I think it is important to understand what is your goal with launching. Like if your goal is like to get on the top 1 place, and that is your success metric, are you on the first place or not? Then maybe consider finding someone who can hunt your product, who is a high profile person and can help you out with the in the first hours. I know there are a lot of people who can for free hunt your product. And if I know correctly, you don't even need to pay for hunting, because if Producthunt knows, they will ban you outright. So there's this guy called, his name is Chris Messina. He's hunting a lot of products on Producthunt. You can go on his website. He's doing that for free. You're just like filling out a form, and he will hunt you on the day. Of course, he can reject you, because it's his profile at the end. But that's one way of doing it. And I know a lot of people who have used hunters, and they got on the first place, because those hunters are usually very high profile people. So if your goal is to for sure get to first place on the Producthunt, maybe consider that option. If that is not important to you, like for me, it was not important for me. I just wanted to go there, and even the getting to the third place was not important to me. I just wanted to kind of get myself out there, launch, to get an initial exposure before going paid. So if that is your goal, then do it as I did, like launch on Monday. Ask your friends and connections to vote. I know that you all have a lot of friends and connections in game dev industry, so I don't think that getting to top 3 will be a huge problem for you specifically. So that's what I would advise. Think about what is your goal. If the getting to the number 1 is your goal, then maybe consider finding a hunter. So the second part, what would I do? If money, yes. So in my case, I think this may be left in the previous version, but I will repeat it anyway. So I just with my launch, I launched it with free version. I have like paid products now, but I did not launch them intentionally, because I wanted to get more subscribers, research more audiences to understand their needs, and then launch a paid product. So that was my approach. In your case, I think it really depends on what you want to do. You want to if you want to increase your list to then switch on the subscription model. Let me think. I think honestly, I think I also talked about this on the on DevRel server before launching. I kind of understood that if I got to a high place, I will just get 500. I will get 500 new subscribers, but it will be a free subscribers. And as a creator, I want to get that recurring revenue. Of course, I love what I do, but getting money for what I do is also important. And I was wrestling for a while. Should I launch some very small product for $5 even, just to see how many people will upgrade to that? And I think if you have a good supportive community, which you already have right now, and because you have a lot to offer, I think you have gone public with your course about OBS, but that's a very big deal, I think, and not a lot of people are doing what that course specifically is doing. I think if you can market your course as the core feature of your subscription model, for example, I think it makes more sense for you specifically, because you already have the product, to launch with already paid subscription on. As I mentioned, in my case, I don't have a product yet. That's why I want to research and understand. But you already have a product. You kind of know who are you marketing towards, who are streamers, for example, and who are people who want to kind of learn more in creator economy. So that is my humble opinion. And there was something that I did not answer, I think.
What, Karina and Lera, what do you say? Did you like Anna's feedback?
Yes, of course.
So, launching on Producthunt?
Let's go. Why not?
Yeah, I like it. I actually I have a little bit of questions about the types of product that you launch in there, because originally it was created like a platform for launching like super technological products, right? But apparently there is no problem right now to launch a course there or something else, or something that you did, for example.
Yes, so that's
Do
a
you
very
think
good
there
question.
is some? Yeah. So maybe you can just elaborate on it a little bit.
Yeah, that is a very good question, actually. And maybe we need to talk about this. So Product Hunt is originally created for apps, for websites, for like deep tech products, as you mentioned. But right now, because there is no place for creatives to launch their products, like other than NFT or on blockchain or something like that, um, it's still the number one popular place to go to just get a lot of audience. I know that there are some cases that they remove newsletters or communities because it's not specifically their target product. I have messaged their support and asked that question, like, yeah, I want to launch my newsletter. What will happen to it? And they said, yeah, you can launch your newsletter. We technically will not do anything with it, but you will not be featured or you will not be like in our newsletter or something like that. But fun fact, I was in their on their Twitter and they also featured me on their newsletter. So I don't know how that rule works. Um, Two newsletters that launched before me, they got to the first place and nothing had happened to them. They were also featured. So I think that's also some kind of gamble, because I know someone whose newsletter was removed when they got to the second place. So I don't know. Maybe it's some kind of depends on who is moderating the feed, or honestly, I can't give that definitive answer. But yeah, you need to be aware of that part of launching on Product Hunt.
Yeah, but seems like asking the support was a very wise decision. At least they are aware that you're about to launch, and it's just safer this way, I guess.
Yeah, you can ask the support. They are very, very responsive. I also, I actually launched on like 10 minutes earlier because I know that there is a small queue, and you don't always see your product immediately because there is a small queue to get on their page. So I did not see my product for 5 minutes, and then I messaged the support, and they said, yeah, you launched a bit earlier. You got on the previous day. I will like get you back on the right day right now. So they are very supportive. They are very responsive. I don't think that you will get any kind of problem if you message them.
Okay, so let's launch something.
Let's launch something, and people, community, we will rely on you to do it. And one more thing to elaborate or to focus on. So you've got hundreds of new subscribers. Do you plan on engaging with them specifically as like, I know, hello Product Hunt people, or like in the next
Yeah.
newsletter, or something like to accommodate them? And like, what do you do since your newsletter sort of doubled in size, right? And does it mean that, for example, Email Octopus like sponsored one of your newsletters? And do you think that with a bigger audience you can reach out to bigger sponsors?
Yeah, I already doubled my sponsorship numbers, if that was the question. And yeah, I definitely think that I will reach out to more sponsors. I'm kind of a bit terrified to write my next newsletter because there are so many new people and they have like a lot of expectations, I imagine. But I also am very aware of the fact, and that there can be an unsubscribing wave. So I will not be very sad if that happens. Like I seen that before when I was semi going viral and I got like 15 new subscribers, and then I sent a newsletter and like 8 or 10 people unsubscribed. So that also is something to be aware of when you're launching a newsletter specifically. You can get this like hundreds and hundreds new people, but then when you send it, the expectations don't match the reality and they unsubscribe. So it's totally normal if some people unsubscribe, but I'm still very terrified of that number, like almost 1,000 people.
And spoil the next newsletter then. I mean, probably you've been planning about this like for a long time. So
Yeah.
what's on your mind? Like how are you to impress the new wave of Product Hunt community now, which is now your audience, I guess? You didn't
Yeah.
onboard them on your Discord server, so their audience, not the community.
Yeah, their audience now. I don't have a server. I don't know if I will start one actually. I'm thinking about it, but I don't know if I will start one. Um, I have a new article that I will published today, which is about characters in a community, what different characters are in the community, like lurker, collaborator,
Lyriker.
contributor,
Oh,
yes, and creator. So I want to kind of talk about those characters, how to engage them, maybe. And I think that would be a very valuable thing because, again, I don't like the word engagement, but all of the community managers are obsessed with that word. And I want to kind of target that specific anxiety that they have and maybe offer a solution to that anxiety.
yes, I want to read it so much.
Okay.
Before we end the show, can I ask you to spell something or like to tease the newsletter? So, how do you engage the lurker?
How I engage the lurker?
Yeah, how do you engage the lurker? Since that's
Message
what message. I mean, but like your newsletter, right? Like your next newsletter about the characters.
Yeah.
Or are you just talking about the characters but not what to do with them?
No, I'm talking about what to do with them. For lurkers, I'm saying like try to. So I'm taking an example of Discord community just to have like very specific example for that character. So I'm assuming that you have a Discord community where you have a specific role that is not very active, or people in some sub segment of the role that are not very active. So the number one thing is to message them. If that does not work, then put something very unexpected for people on that role to see. Like, if, for example, if it's a gaming role, put like very unexpected thing, like I don't know, Candy Crush meme on their role to see. Like,
Okay.
that's very random. I'm not thinking that through right now. I'm like getting this out of my head and see how they are interact with them. But also, I think that, for the lurkers especially, there is an episode of a very good podcast that I want to share here. It's called Rework Podcasts, and it's created by the people who created Basecamp and Hey, the emailing app. And they had a very big problem. They had a lot of users that were not engaging with their product, and their solution to that was to delete them.
Yeah, I found this button in our Discord. There's like, so you can delete the people who are not active for 2 weeks or something. And I was like,
Yeah.
Okay, I will not do this.
Maybe in 2 weeks is not enough of a period, but it's important to understand what is the period for your community that you consider um, that is enough to understand, is this a person a good fit? Because like if there is a person who is sitting on your server and is not interacting, but you have this very beautiful number of 400 active members of the Discord, it's not that it's 400. It's more
This
like,
is how you get a sponsorship.
yeah, I know. I know.
Okay, this is time to end the show because we're already talking about the engagement, and let's keep it for
And
the
because it's time
community
to end
show.
the show. Let's start like shut up this dude and
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much for watching. See you in next episodes. Goodbye.
Bye.